If I could go back and change one message I gave far too often earlier in my career, it would be this: stop straining to urinate. Stop power pushing. Stop forcing what should be a reflex. It seems simple, but it's the hidden habit that silently worsens symptoms, irritates the bladder outlet, locks the pelvic floor, and sets off a chain of tension that follows you all day and all night. My number one regret is not telling men clearly and early that the way you breathe, sit, and wait at the toilet can either help your bladder do its job or trap you in a cycle of urgency, weak flow, and nighttime wake-ups. Today I want to show you exactly what to stop, what to start, and how to retrain your body with calm, practical steps you can use tonight. Let's name the pattern so you can recognize it. You feel the urge. You hurry to the bathroom, worried the stream will be slow. Without even thinking, you brace your abdomen, hold your breath, tighten your jaw, and bear down. The stream may start, but it's narrow. You push harder, trying to squeeze out the last drops. You stand up. You're not convinced you finished. You sit back down. You force again. A few minutes later, you feel pressure and the fear that you'll need to go again. This is the loop. It feels like willpower. It's actually a tug of war between the muscles that should relax and the ones you're accidentally contracting. Here's the simple physiology in everyday language. Urination is a coordinated reflex that depends on two big players: the bladder muscle, which squeezes to empty, and the outlet muscles, the urethral sphincter and the pelvic floor, which must relax to let the flow pass. In youth, the balance holds even when you rush or push. After 60, the outlet can become more resistant. The prostate grows, the bladder outlet stiffens, and the nervous system carries a little more fight or flight tone. If, on top of that, you brace your abdomen and push, you increase pressure downward while your pelvic floor tightens as a protective response. That tight floor narrows the outlet even more. The bladder tries harder, gets irritable, and starts signaling urgency at smaller volumes. The more you push, the less the outlet yields. The less the outlet yields, the more you feel you must push. It's a loop powered by habit, not by age alone. When men stop power pushing and start relaxing on purpose, three things usually happen within weeks. First, initiation becomes smoother because the outlet finally gets the permission slip to open. Second, the bladder calms down. When emptying is not a wrestling match, urgency tones down. Third, nights improve. Even if you wake, falling back asleep is easier because the nervous system has practiced a downshift routine. This is not magic, it's mechanics plus habit. So what should you stop doing immediately? 3 specific things. Stop breath holding at the toilet. Breath holding tells your body it's in a lift-or-refrigerator moment. Your pelvic floor hears brace for impact and clamps. Stop bearing down. That action pushes against a closed gate, aggravates hemorrhoids, stresses hernias, and irritates the bladder neck. And stop hovering or perching with your knees hovering above the seat. The hovering stance keeps your pelvic floor switched on. If you only change these 3 today, you break the worst part of the loop. Now let's replace them with a simple, repeatable technique that you can use every time you go. I call it downshift, drop, and drift. The name doesn't matter, the sequence does. Downshift means you lengthen your exhale before you sit. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4 and exhale for 6. Do that twice as you step into the bathroom. You're telling your nervous system, stand down, we're safe. Drop means you sit fully with support under your feet. Use a small footstool if your heels lift, to open the hip angle and soften the pelvic floor. Place your hands on your thighs. Let your shoulders fall. Drift means you allow the stream to begin without pushing. If it doesn't start within 30 seconds, you quietly repeat 2 slow exhales and think of widening at the sight bones as if your hips were gently drifting apart. Most men feel a subtle release just before the stream starts. That release is the signal you want to reproduce again and again. For men accustomed to rushing, the hardest part is tolerating the first 20 seconds without pushing. Here's how to win that moment. Keep your eyes fixed on a point at the base of the door or a tile line. Your gaze anchors the breath. Relax your jaw and tongue. Literally let the tongue rest against the bottom teeth. A tight jaw often means a tight pelvic floor. Loosen your hands. If you're gripping your thighs, your body thinks you're lifting, not letting go. This is a tiny meditation that lasts half a minute and saves you 30 minutes of frustration later. Double voiding can help when used correctly. If you feel not quite finished, don't push. Stand up, wash your hands, take 6 slow breaths, and sit back down for 20 more seconds. Often the outlet will let a small, easy second flow pass. This is not forcing. It's giving the reflex a second chance without aggression. Nighttime deserves its own plan because nights are where confidence breaks. Most men over 60 wake at least once. The goal is not perfect sleep. It's peaceful sleep cycles. Build a pre-bed routine that tells your bladder and pelvic floor what's coming. 90 minutes before bed. Taper fluids, but don't dehydrate yourself during the day. Elevate your legs for 15 minutes on a pillow to move ankle and calf fluid back toward the core earlier in the evening, so it doesn't become urine at 2 a.m. Do 5 minutes of soft belly breathing before lights out. Have a warm compress or heating pad at low setting nearby. 2 minutes of warmth on the lower abdomen can be enough to signal relaxation before a last visit to the bathroom. When you wake at night, repeat the downshift, drop, and drift sequence. Keep the lights dim if your mind starts a story. Answer with count 4 inhale, count 6 exhale. Flow or no flow, you protected the reflex. That alone makes returning to sleep easier. Nutrition and timing matter more than people think. Coffee and strong tea are stimulants and bladder irritants for many men, especially later in the day. Try your last caffeine before noon. Alcohol is a diuretic and a bladder irritant. Move it earlier with food if you choose to have it. Pay attention to evening salt. Salty dinners pull fluid into the bloodstream, which becomes urine hours later. Shift salt earlier. Favor a lighter dinner. Hydrate more in the morning and early afternoon. A steady intake supports urine that is less concentrated and less irritating. Movement patterns make a meaningful difference. Long, glued-to-chair days create pelvic congestion. Aim for a 2-minute stand and move break each hour. 10 calf raises, 10 slow hip circles, and 10 gentle seated knee hugs. These micro movements help lymphatic and venous return, reducing pressure at the outlet and calming that heavy pelvis feeling many men describe at 5 p.m. Add a 20-minute walk most days at a pace where you can still talk. Your bladder is a smooth muscle. It likes rhythm. Your nervous system learns to settle when your feet learn to move. Posture on the toilet is simple but powerful. Sit fully supported. Use a footstool to raise knees slightly above hips. Keep your spine long but not rigid. Imagine your sit bones widening on the exhale. If you need a cue, whisper soft as you exhale and wide as you pause. Never rush. If you can't stay seated without grabbing your phone, practice the sequence twice daily at a scheduled time. Even if output is minimal, this is training, not performance. Now I want to give you a 2-week reset that many men find doable and effective. It's not a challenge, it's a gentle course correction that prioritizes one goal: retrain the reflex, not force the flow. Days 1 to 3. Learn the sequence. Every bathroom visit, Practice downshift, drop, and drift. 2 slow exhales before you sit, a soft jaw, feet supported, no pushing. In the evening, elevate legs for 15 minutes, walk for 10 minutes after dinner, and keep caffeine to mornings only. Notice how often you hold your breath in daily life and release it deliberately. Days 4 to 7. Consolidate the routine. Add 5 minutes of soft belly breathing in the late afternoon. Begin a fluid window, 2 glasses of water before noon, 1 after lunch, sips in the late afternoon, and taper in the evening. If you wake at night, use the sequence. If the flow doesn't start, accept it and return to bed. The goal is nervous system cooperation, not volume on command. Days 8 to 10. Refine technique. Add a small warm compress to the lower abdomen for 2 to 3 minutes before the final evening bathroom visit. Keep your gaze steady and your hands relaxed. Try double voiding properly. Sit, release, stand and breathe. Sit again. Release if the body offers, stop if not. Days 11 to 14. Assess and personalize. Choose 2 markers to track. Time to start the stream, number of night awakenings, or ease of sitting on long drives. Notice small wins, a smoother start, a calmer mind, 1 fewer night trip, less pressure after dinner. Keep what worked. Discard what felt like pressure. Let me paint 3 brief portraits so you can picture this in real life. 67. Used to bear down to get it over with. He stopped pushing, added the footstool and slow exhales. And within 10 days, his stream started more easily without the post-void heaviness that nagged him every afternoon. He still woke once most nights, but he fell back asleep quickly because he wasn't frustrated. 72 Luis traveled for work and dreaded airport days. He scheduled micro movements each hour and used the downshift, drop, and drift sequence in terminal restrooms without self-consciousness. The combination shortened his bathroom stops and calmed his mind before boarding. Omar, 75, had convinced himself his body couldn't learn anything new. He took the 2-week reset as an experiment and discovered that not pushing produced a steadier flow. The victory wasn't dramatic, it was consistent. Consistency is what your bladder loves most. Pelvic floor release deserves a clear description because many men think pelvic floor exercises always means clenching. Over 60, with outlet resistance, the more common need is learning to let go. Here's a simple release drill you can do once or twice daily for 2 minutes. Lie down with a pillow under your knees. Place 1 hand on your belly and 1 on your chest. Inhale through your nose and feel your lower hand rise. Exhale slowly through pursed lips and feel your belly soften and fall. On the exhale, imagine your sit bones drifting a centimeter apart. That's the motion that cues the pelvic floor to widen. If you prefer to do this seated, sit on the front edge of a firm chair so you can feel your sit bones. Inhale, and on a long exhale, imagine the chair getting wider under you as you let your belly soften. No clenching, no straining. 2 minutes, twice a day, teaches your outlet to trust you again. There are a few common questions I hear all the time. If I don't push, won't I retain urine? If you truly cannot pass urine, that's an emergency, and you should be evaluated immediately. But most men who push are not retaining. They're impatient. As you retrain, the stream often starts a few seconds later, but flows more completely because the outlet actually opened. Isn't a strong push necessary with a large prostate? A large prostate increases outlet resistance, but pushing against a closed sphincter only aggravates swelling and irritates the neck. Gentleness plus posture and breath works with the anatomy you have. Should I avoid all evening fluids? Over-restriction leads to thick, irritating urine and can worsen constipation, which irritates the outlet further. Move most fluids earlier, then taper. Don't punish your body at night for what it needed in the morning. Supportive add-ons can help without complicating your life. A daily 20-minute walk outside adds rhythmic input your bladder appreciates. Magnesium-rich foods at dinner, like leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, or a small portion of beans, may support muscle relaxation and bowel regularity, which helps the outlet. A warm shower before bed doubles as a gentle pelvic relaxant. Keep chairs at home supportive and avoid deep couches that tilt your pelvis into a slouch for hours. Use a small cushion to keep your hips slightly higher than your knees. What about medications and procedures? They have their place and can be helpful for many men. But even when medicines relax the outlet or treatments reduce obstruction, habits still matter. The men who feel best long-term combine medical care with nervous system cooperation and mechanical common sense. Breath, posture, patience, and timing are not alternative medicine. They are the foundation that lets any plan work better. If you need one mental reframe to carry you through the first week, let it be this: urination is not a test of strength, it's a permission process. Your job is not to force the gate, it's to give the gatekeeper the exact conditions that make yes easy. Long exhale. Supported feet. Soft jaw. No rush. 30 seconds of this practice pays you back hours later when you sit in traffic calmly or sleep a longer stretch. I want to speak to the frustration that often hides under humor. Men joke about scouting every bathroom on the block or knowing the best urinals on every highway. Behind the joke is a constant negotiation with the urge, the stream, the fear of interruption. Confidence returns when you're not fighting yourself every time you go. The confidence is not bravado. It's a grounded sense that your body has a routine you can count on. The routine you'll rely on is the one you practice when the stakes are low. Every easy morning visit is a deposit. By evening, the account has balance. By night, withdrawals sting less. If you live with a partner, tell them what you're changing. I'm going to stop pushing and start relaxing on purpose. I'll breathe slowly, sit with support, and give it 30 seconds. I'll move more during the day and taper fluids at night. Why say it out loud? Because shared routines last longer. Your home can be a place that cues calm, dimmer lights at night, fewer late screens, short walks together after dinner. Intimacy grows when pressure drops, and pressure drops when you stop treating your body like a stubborn machine and start treating it like a teammate. Let me give you a one-phrase summary you can post on your mirror. Gentle wins, gentle breath, gentle posture, gentle patience. Gentle does not mean weak. It means smart enough to work with your anatomy and your nervous system instead of against them. Gentle is efficient. Gentle is sustainable. Gentle keeps you steady on a long road. Stop power pushing today. In the next bathroom visit, breathe out longer than you breathe in. Sit, support your feet, soften your jaw, and wait for the gate to open. Do it once, then do it again. Give yourself 2 weeks of this and look for one clear sign it's working: a smoother start, fewer false alarms, or a quicker return to sleep. Your body notices your effort, and when you stop fighting it, it stops fighting you. If this message gave you clarity, choose one change to start tonight. Share these steps with a friend who needs them. Men rarely talk about these details, but they should. And if you want more straightforward, dignity-first guidance for men's health in the years that matter most, subscribe and stay with me.